Where are we at? The phone's going off. Go. Bam. Okay. Now we'll just go let people know we're on stream. Just take a moment. There we are. The community now. All right. Computer's acting a little slow. Just jigger it on. Okay. All right. Hey guys, welcome back to another week, another live stream. Got another live show ahead of us in about 20 minutes from now. And well, I can't say the season's slowed down by any means. I mean, can't complain too much there. Now, admittedly, like, it's kind of weird because this is like a pretty dynamic vote for the most part, but I feel like the back and forth, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just not. I feel like after last week and seeing Tucker go, like, and the people eligible to go home here, like, it's not as big of a field for obvious reasons, but there's still like definitely some push and pull that's been happening here. Oh, that's some Hell's Kitchen stuff here. So obviously, it does seem like Chemo is still the most likely person to go home here. Though there is kind of this back and forth between Joseph and Rubina, I still, from what I understand, Rubina is still probably the most safe, though I haven't been following the feeds that closely today. Like, today's been pretty busy with like work and stuff, so I only know what's there from the update. Joseph is the star of the show. What are you talking about? I mean, obviously he is. I mean, he is the mastermind here. Now, let me see what's been going on Twitter. So, just checking out X here. Chelsea is pushing back again, and Angela just try to throw a curveball by campaigning for Chemo to stay. Huh. Earlier, Chelsea locked in with MJ that she wants to keep Rubina against Joseph. Okay. Now Leah pitching to her with Angela that Joseph needs to stay, and Chelsea. Okay, vote's still alive here. Leah seems to think she slipped Chelsea, telling us Joseph, but he still didn't see it in conversation. Thus, Chelsea was pushing for Rubina to stay. So this is going to be a pretty interesting vote here. So like obviously there's still like a lot up in the air, and I can't say for sure exactly where we're going at this point. Like obviously, like if Chemo's there on the block, he probably goes home. Though if it's Joseph versus Rubina, that's definitely where we had the more intriguing scenario here. But obviously, it also comes down to the AI arena comp, which, like last week, we also got a preview for here. I can show it to y'all in just a moment. Let me just pull it up. Maybe I can play like the actual Instagram version of it this time. Just a second. That's fine. Can I get this in full screen? Is this in full screen? Or do I have to settle? So anyway, so this is what Julie posted earlier.
All right, round 2. I had so much fun in the BBAI arena. I'm trying it again. Basically, you remember this from BB24.
Maybe.
Double eviction night. Michael, we were screaming for him to do it, and he didn't do it. But I'm gonna try. I probably can't do it. I'm tethered. I have to untangle myself and then have enough slack to plug this peg down there. If I do it, the lights flash. All right, I might go. Ah! You know what? This hoodie is too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm declaring victory. All right, ready? I might go. Chenbot, go.
Okay, so then she actually like does the comp for once. Not gonna play the next bit because to play the Rocky music. I don't want to be copyrighted playing Rocky music. So obviously, like it's like somewhat physical. It's a somewhat physical comp here where they are again they're sort of like maneuvering around, like trying to get loose and stuff. Though what's interesting is that obviously it does seem somewhat even here. Like I saw some discussion saying that like Rabina's favored for this because like she's like small and nimble and stuff, but I mean really it's like this is like a pretty light field competitively where it's like Chemo's the only one with a comp win, winning the first AI arena. Rabina like came very very close to winning the one where Cedric went, in the week where Cedric went home, obviously, but and then you have Joseph who's been throwing comp, so really like on paper at least this can really go anywhere, which I think further adds to the complication with the actual vote here, but it'll make for an interesting show. Dr. Will continue not to win a single challenge and win the whole game. Oh yeah, that was a thing. Like, yeah. So I did that joke in the video, and then literally the exact same night, like during last night's episode, they were dunking on Joseph, and they compared him to Dr. Will, which makes a lot of sense there. And it's kind of a shame because earlier in the week, when I first made the joke like when I was doing making the veto poll back on Saturday, and I kind of made a mistake by calling him Joseph Giesling, and I immediately regretted it. I felt like Joseph Kirby made a lot more sense, so I did kind of rectify it by the end of it, but in the sense that he's just throwing comps all the time, and he's openly talking to the entire house about how he's throwing comps. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see him actually try to win for once. We'll see how good he really is. I think Rapino will win this. Yeah, again, I could see it go at either way. I mean, we obviously saw last week that you never really know with these arena comps, with it being live and everything. But again, if I had to pick one person now seeing the comp, I do think Rabina would have the edge. Though it wouldn't shock me if like Chemo pulled out the win. I think I voted for Chemo to win in like the poll too, which is interesting there. We are now about 12 minutes from the start of the show, so not missing too much yet. And in other news, we have the 47 cast finally out officially, which again is a bit later than usual. Like I don't like how late it's coming out. Basically means I have less time between like when the interviews come out and when like I had to put together the video, which reminds me, do they have the CBS website? Do they? No, they don't have it yet. Are they gonna get the cast photos in time? Like I like to use the ones from the CBS website, like the one that has like the more zoomed in, like high res pictures. So like I'm hoping to get those relatively soon. Still baffling how Tucker's side of the house lost all power just because T-Core horrible HOH. I wouldn't say T-Core's HOH was that bad. I mean, I think you definitely falter for not being more explicit in targeting Tucker, where it felt like the fact that Tucker ended up on the block to begin with kind of fell into her lap. Where had Tucker not volunteered to begin with, like it's who knows for sure if she actually goes through with it. The fact that she wasn't really pushing more, but I mean, she still wanted Tucker to go, even if she wasn't like actively pushing for it. So I wouldn't say it's all bad. Really, like I mean, it's kind of blowing up now because of their previous failure to not tell Quinn about Leah, to where now Leah and Quinn, or at least now Quinn is like pretty committed to working with Leah. Wait, what? Um, what do we have here? Um, Someone just messaged me, and it made me it made me think that Big Brother was already on. But, mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeopardy's on right now. Yeah, just popped it on real fast. Will you review every cast member of 47? Will you do a review every cast member of 47? That's all right. Yeah, I am gonna do a preseason power ranking. I usually like to wait until after all the preseason interviews come out and stuff. So we are getting them slowly but surely. I think today we got the written versions of Andy and Annika's interviews. I read those. And on YouTube we have John Levitt, we have Asia obviously, and who's the other one that RJP put out? They put out John Levitt's early because he's like I guess the big name on the cast. Was it Genevieve? Like they released Asia's alongside one other person. I believe it was Genevieve. Yep, it is. But yeah, like I'm probably like again, the plan right now is to do it like the Saturday before, which would be Saturday the 14th. That's when it would be made public. Though with the timing of like the release of the interviews and stuff, it may make it so that I can't release it early, which is annoying. So when does the last interview drop? Because they said in the cast review like when all the interviews would be. So I believe it's over 9 days. So I believe they're doing it alphabetically. That can't be 9:13. Okay, so it looks like the last of the interviews will be coming out on the 13th. So that's Friday, like the day before I would plan to come out with the video. But I want to get out a little early for the patrons and YouTube members, so which I guess is a plug for that, but I don't know, maybe I'll lean on the video interviews since they're coming on a different cycle than the written ones. So maybe I might have to like listen to those so that I get all the information ahead of time. Probably makes the most sense there. My computer is slow. Everything's going so slow. So I was in the middle of in the pool game, right? Okay. So I picked Quinn in the pool game. I came very, very close to picking Joseph, but it was just a little too risky. So we could be seeing eliminations tonight. Um, Depending on how things go here. He changed his mind very. Gargan picked Mackenzie. This is a massive mess. I should probably put in my headphones right now. That might be a good idea. Did you do a vote theoretical for each scenario since it's almost anyone that could go home? I could do it real fast. I didn't do it earlier, but I could just do it real fast. So basically, from what I understand, so let's do Joseph. So basically, if it's Joseph Chemo, then Joseph Chemo, Rubina, vote for Joseph. T-Core, vote for Joseph. But then I believe everyone else votes out Chemo in the scenario. I mean, Angela's probably a vote for. I mean, Angela could be a vote for Joseph. Angela's kind of all over the place. Like she could vote out Joseph, she could not, depending on how hard Leah pushes. And that was a thing where like Leo's trying to lock in Angela to try to like pressure the T core side and like the Cam and Chelsea side into keeping Joseph. So obviously it's kind of up in the air as well. I don't know why I have Quinn here. Quinn should be nowhere near here. Anyway, so that's that scenario. Yeah, I'll just hide Quinn here. So it really should be more like this. But then if it's Joseph versus Rabina. So I think for sure Chemo would go over Rabina, but if it's the other way around, Chemo's a vote there. This is a more interesting scenario, I should say. T Court's a vote for Joseph. I believe Mackenzie last time I heard. So Mackenzie's weird. Like she keeps kind of going all over the place. The last I heard, she was leaning towards Joseph going. But then really it comes down to how hard Leah pushes to get the other votes there. And obviously that could obviously influence Mackenzie as well. But obviously you have Mackenzie and MJ also being there where Chelsea clearly wants Robina to go. Like that's probably where she's been leaning for a lot of the week. But I feel like the vote is just so much up in the air right now that I'm not entirely clear on how things would truly go. But that's what makes it interesting here. So I believe I have everyone down. Alright, this is for Joseph. Alright, this is for Joseph. Gargan's for that. Myself is for Quinn. Q-Boy there. Anyway, the show's now starting. So we're about to get okay. Yeah, they're doing the recap right now. Perhaps. They're getting through the recap right now. Let's just close the poll just in case. Kibosh. I think I meant to say Gabosh. Anyway, just gotten to recap, and they're actually showing the intro in this episode. I do like the intro, like the music that they did. Anyway, we're now getting to Julie. Good evening. I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother. But first, all right, we're now getting to the actual show component here. You don't sound heartbroken, buddy. Maybe. All right. We're getting a combo with Joseph and Quinn. Maybe. Joseph is pretty mad at Quinn here for putting him up. All right, now we're getting a scene with T-Core and Rabina here. They're setting up T-Core being against Joseph here to keep Chemo and Rabina in the game. Maybe. And now we're seeing Joseph realizing how stupid it was to tell Angela that she can't win. Oh, isn't that nice? He's apologizing. He's just apologizing to Angela. Maybe. Maybe. We're getting MJ, Chelsea, Quinn. No, MJ, Cam, Quinn. My apologies. Talking about Leah and her veto decision here. Maybe. Rabina came into the room. Oh, dropped my phone. We're talking about getting the votes here to keep Joseph around. Possibly. Possibly. Now they're showing Chelsea as being more anti Joseph here. Which again is kind of strange. Like I feel like Chelsea herself has kind of gone back and forth over the course of the week. Though I feel like her initial instinct was to take out Joseph. So she has definitely like flip flopped a bit more. Anyway, we're gonna get the commercial now. Yeah, they're hyping up this Ainsley thing. Like, we know there's gonna be like definitely a change to the game. Now the question is it simply gonna be that AI arena's over, or are they just gonna replace it with something else? We're commercial now. So again, they're just setting up like the whole. They're probably just gonna set up more of the actual dilemma here, whether to keep Joseph or not. There's also a football game on tonight. So admittedly, like things. I am kind of glad things are picking up a bit more at this point. Because obviously like, for like the past month or so, like ever since Big Brother started, it was definitely like one video a week, which does feel a bit slow, but I feel like a bit warranted. I felt like, but obviously things are gonna be picking up. Obviously the next couple weeks. I mean, with 47 starting, is that still Big Brother stuff? Also Hell's Kitchen. So I guess like so the plan with Hell's Kitchen is to start doing weekly power rankings. Like I figured like it might as well. Like there's no reason not to. However, I will say that I probably will drop coverage of the circle. Because I felt like it was definitely a grind to do like videos for it. Like last season. Obviously, I didn't finish coverage of it for this past season, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not as hungry to do it. And I mean, we're now back from commercial here. We're probably gonna get more content here. All right, so we're gonna get some more Leah content here, showing how Quinn and Joseph are pretty misted by Leah. We Yeah, they've been kind of dunking on Joseph here in this episode. Obviously, like the whole Angela apology, and then obviously now with like Quinn, him telling Quinn that he's forgives Quinn and not mad, even though he clearly is, and Quinn's calling him out for being mad. Perhaps. We got Leah Franzel in the season now. Anyway, we're getting more. No, we're getting a Cam and MJ content now. Yeah, now they're showing the friction here with Cam, Chelsea, and MJ. So they're playing like old Big Brother music. The dun 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 dun. They haven't used that in a while. And we're seeing Chelsea getting pretty annoyed here with Cam for being a bit too touchy with MJ. This is awkward. How awkward. They're showing T Core checking in with Chelsea here. They're probably going to show T Core being mad as well. Potentially. Possibly. Yeah, you go, girl. She just said she's not playing this game for no man. Anyway, we're now getting to commercial here. When we get back, we are now going to get to the AI Arena comp. All right. So obviously they got to cram in time for the announcement. So hopefully like they'll be a bit more speedy with this. All right. All right, so when we get back, we are going to get to the AI Arena comp. Julie did preview it. She previewed it earlier today. We know that's the same comp. It was the veto comp from the double eviction in BB24, the one that took out Michael. Was the game delayed? In other news, the football game's been delayed. So I guess there's like a lot of like bad weather. Okay, it's 20 minutes. That's fine. So yeah, that works for me. I mean, so yeah, I was kind of alluding to earlier. So plan is to cover this, obviously, Survivor and Hell's Kitchen when those start. I'm probably not going to cover Circle. I'll also watch it, but I'm not going to cover it. I figure like Hell's Kitchen is like good enough. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for Survivor this season. Like I always like Survivor. Like it'll be very interesting to see how these people play here. Also, we got some interesting names here as well. I mean, Age is probably the big name there. Though obviously we knew about all these people for a while, so take that for what you will. Hey, we're still commercial here. So I believe so. So I closed the poll. Looking at the poll here. So Chemo is the favorite to win the AI Arena comp with 48% of the vote. 9 votes went to Rabina, which makes a lot of sense. Only 2 people voted for Joseph to win this comp here. Obviously, we should be expecting Joseph to actually try to win for once. I mean, his whole mantra for the whole season, his whole strategy that he's been telling pretty much everyone is that he's been throwing comps. But obviously now he's probably gonna try, so see what he's truly made of. Once we get back from commercial, obviously. Did I not close the I probably close I realized I didn't actually close the poll, so there we go, it's now closed. All right, we are now back from commercial here. We are now getting to the AI Arena comp, which will obviously decide how a lot of this week will play out here. We saw what the comp is earlier. You're basically just contorting your body around like the whole contraption, trying to get a lot of slack for your rope, enough slack so you can hit the button. So obviously this can go a number of different ways here. I feel like this is a relatively even playing field. Though obviously you have is a level playing field. Though I think now seeing the comp, I think is soon Turbino will be the favorite. But obviously Chemo also is a good shot here. I feel like Joseph's probably the least likely to win, but you never know. Anyway, they're now giving out the instructions here. All right. They just gave out the instructions here. Seem pretty clear. Can't imagine anyone will be confusing the instructions the way Tucker did. All right, here we go. All right, we are now underway. The players are making their way through the apparatus here. I feel like it'll take a bit of time to really figure out like who's ahead. Though it seems right at the bat that Rabina is really gaining the advantage here. A lot of focus on Rabina right now. We see Rabina really moving her way, flying her way through the contraption here. Joseph's pretty slow. Like he has like no hustle in his step. We have Chemo now navigating his way through. Rabina is just flying through it. She is like the most like speed so far, which could be pretty beneficial here. Is she going for it? The camera went back to Joseph, so I can't tell. Yeah, Joseph's like he's just kind of like fumbling through this, which is really funny. Anyway, it looks like Rabina's going for it. She is running, but she does not have enough slack. She has to go back and make her way through more of it. Yeah, Rabina has by far the most amount of rope here to work with Chemo being in second, and I feel like Joseph's like way far behind in third. Focus down on Chemo. Chemo's just kind of a mess here. He still has tons of rope left. Yeah, but Rabina is just whipping her way through this. Looks like she is she about to try again? Nope, she is going to get a bit more slack here. And now Rabina's raking her way over. Nope, she is still short. She still has to make her way through more, like, which is pretty crazy there. She has a lot. Anyway, we have Chemo now. Chemo's not really tried yet. Obviously, Joseph still has tons of rope left. Rabina should be pretty close to winning this. We have her now making her way down the aisle, and there you have it. Rabina has won the AI Arena comp and is off the block now. She is guaranteed a spot in jury and will be the 7th vote voting tonight, meaning it is now between Joseph and Chemo on the block here. But yeah, that wasn't even close. She was just flying through that. So if you're just joining us, Rabina has just won the AI Arena comp, won it pretty convincingly, where she was just way far ahead, just had way more hustle than everyone else here. And now she's off the block, meaning that is now between Joseph and Chemo. I would expect that Chemo is the boot here, as I feel like there is not really that big of a push to keep Chemo in the game. Obviously, Quinn, like during a lot of his campaign, a lot of focus has been about Chemo, like being taken out. Like Quinn has focused a lot of his efforts on campaign to take out Chemo, which was a mistake there, considering that he didn't really push nearly as hard for Rabina, which obviously would have complicated the vote had Chemo won the AI Arena comp, considering Quinn does want to keep Joseph. However, now that it's Joseph versus Chemo, I feel like there is enough momentum there to keep Joseph in the game, which is crazy considering how actively bad Joseph has played a lot this week and how much show's been dunking on Joseph here. Or I feel like Chemo's gotten almost no content on the show. So I feel like a lot of the vote here will kind of be confusing to the casuals, though I feel like it'll also come off as a misdirect for people watching back. But yeah, I feel like obviously I think, you have Rabina, you have T-Core, there'll probably be sympathy votes here. But I feel like a lot of the push here, but I feel like you have Chelsea in particular. Chelsea, I feel like, will want to break up the Chemo, T-Core, Rabina trio here. That's been a big talking point, and obviously a big reason why there was a push to take out either Rabina or Chemo here over Joseph, despite the way Joseph's been playing. And I think through that you get Cam as well. I don't see a reason why Cam would vote out Joseph in this spot. And then through that, I think you have Leah and you still have Angela is kind of up for grabs, but I feel like against Chemo, I feel like there isn't really as much of an incentive there. And then obviously you have Mackenzie. Last I heard, Mackenzie was probably on board to take out Joseph here. It seemed like that's the way she was leaning for a lot of the week, though I feel like she should be like wanting to break at that trio there. So obviously that's a big factor here. So obviously that's where it seems like the vote could be going here. So let me just put these people back. We're still a commercial, so obviously we'll have to let things settle here. Hey, hello. Maybe BB26 female player was worried for Amazing Race Canada 10 male team winner. I haven't watched Amazing Race Canada. Was that a male team that won? Let me just look it up. Did that just end? I think Kevin Martin was on that season. It was. So I'm on the Wikipedia page. It's the final four, where it looks like two of the teams at least are male. This is actually good for Leah's position game moving forward. Yeah, like I think this definitely makes it easier to keep Joseph at this point. I mean, Leah kind of needs Joseph in the game. So I feel like with Chemo on the block, someone who has been pushed more as a consensus target, it should lead to Joseph staying, which is pretty good there. But yeah. Now it's not impossible for flip to happen the last moment, depending on how, because there's still like plenty of looseness with the vote in general. But if I had to guess right now, I would assume Chemo's going home here. Next week is finale week of Miz vs Canada. No non-elimination this season. Well, that's good. I'm kind of glad they're. Sounds good that they're following in the U.S.'s footsteps there. So let me updating the polls. All right, we're about to get back from commercial here, where we could see some interesting campaigns at the last second. AI Arena. All right, we're now back from commercial here, where we are going to get the announcement that Rabina has won the AI Arena, and we could get some fireworks here. It obviously depends on how much people are willing to push. All right, here we go. I will say though, if Kimo goes home, it would be kind of poetic that he was on the block week one, won the first AA arena, and now he goes home after the last AA arena. I think that'd be a pretty funny storyline. Yeah, Rabina is like pretty emotional here. Like this is, you can very much tell this was like a big moment for her. People are pretty happy. They're celebrating. Let's see what the campaign looks like. Is there campaigning? A lot of focus on MJ. Chemo looks pretty emotional here. All right, now we have MJ, Cam, Chelsea, Leah, Joseph. They're all running off together. People are all running off to the bedrooms again. All right, we're actually going to the bedroom this time. This is pretty big here. We have Joseph campaigning here. Chemo's not really in there at all. No, Chemo's in there. Now Chemo's just walking away. Yeah, Joseph's staying in the room here. Yeah, Chemo's a wreck here. Yeah, barely any talking, and now people are going out of the room. Yeah, barely any time to campaign here. So not much happened here. Like Joseph, Chemo's pretty emotional here. Joseph's pretty calm for the most part. Anyway, we're now getting to the actual votes here, or the speeches. Yeah, Chemo. I do feel bad for Chemo here. Like, he is like devastated right now. I think he kind of knows that he's got the votes here, which is pretty unfortunate. We're getting a 4-3. I think a larger comes down to what MJ does, which, speak of the devil, MJ is the first vote here. Kind of a misstep here. I feel like MJ could have been one of the more interesting votes. So anyway. So I think MJ's the vote for Chemo here. Yeah, MJ is pretty emotional as well. Yeah, she's not taking this lightly. All right, here we go. All right. MJ is a vote for Joseph here. Yeah, she was pretty torn there. All right, next we got Cam here. Shocked with MJ's vote. I mean, she did say Cam's voting. All right, Cam is a vote for Chemo here. I don't think so. So I believe. All right, we're going to commercial, by the way. So we'll have to wait and see where people truly stand here. So basically, what it was is that initially, like, MJ was like willing to vote out Robina over Joseph, which was kind of different from what Chelsea wanted, where Chelsea, where Chelsea wanted to vote out Joseph initially, while MJ wanted to vote out Robina. Though I think what's kind of shifted that was Robina like kind of being on board with like this women's alliance, to where now like MJ kind of coming around to voting out Joseph, which, well, obviously we just saw like MJ did vote for Joseph here. And I think Cam was also like on board with keeping Rabina over Joseph, but obviously with now Chemo, like, I think the thing is, like, if it were Rabina on the block, I think Cam and Chelsea probably would be votes to take out Joseph. But I think when it's Chemo, and especially when a lot of the focus has been on specifically taking out Chemo, I think there isn't really that much incentive there. Hey, Will, how y'all doing? Yeah, Compass favoring Rabina. Yeah, like, she was pretty clear out in front here. Rabina and Tico vote Joseph out. Yeah, I think they do vote for Joseph. I think they're gonna put up a fight here. I think they're kind of banking on Angela's vote. So again, I think this could go a couple different ways here. Like, I think Angela is probably going to be the swing vote, if I had to guess. That's right. It does take 4 to evict here. We had 20 people on stream. Big jump all of a sudden. But yeah, like, I think this is definitely, like, it's weird because like they're not even like, we're talking about two people that are not that massive targets. Yeah, this is kind of a mess. This is kind of this is a pretty messy vote here. AI is now ending a pre-jury phase. Yeah, I think that seems where it seems to be going. That AI arena is done. They're probably just gonna replace it. Not replace it with something else, but like, Definitely like have something to like a new thing to bring in the next stage of the game. I'm trying to update the poll stuff. All right, we are now back from commercial here, where we currently are tied 1-1 in this eviction vote here. All right, here we go. It's not double eviction's not guaranteed next week. Anyway, Leah's the next vote here. She's probably a vote to keep Joseph. Yeah, she's kind of deflated right now. All right. Leah is a vote for chemo there, not too surprising. Next, we have T-Core. Should be a vote for Joseph here. All right. Go. All right. Rabina's up next. Should be a vote for Joseph. All right. Here we go. All right, Angela. This is gonna be big. It's gonna be big here. What does Angela do? Yep, she is crying. Angela, vote for chemo. All right, finally, it's Chelsea. Final vote here. Tied vote. Here we go. Wow. She votes for Joseph. And with that, Joseph has been evicted in a 4-3 vote. All right. All right. Quinn is shocked. Angela is shocked. This is a blind side here. Yeah, Leah's. Very interesting stuff here. Yeah, a lot to consider here. Yeah, Angela and Chelsea's votes here. Yeah, so Angela did vote with Leah. Also, like, what was Cam doing? Like, why did Cam vote chemo? You you think he'd be voting with Cam and MJ here? Clearly not. Now Rabina's just explaining what the arena comp was. Pre-jury saw this season. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Like she just started yapping about how the arena comp was. Okay, obviously there's a lot to consider here. So first up, I went in on Leah in the stock watch, banking on the fact that Joseph would stay. That was a mistake. This is obviously pretty bad for Leah here. But even beyond that, you have the likes of Chelsea, where obviously Chelsea was someone who wanted to evict Joseph over uh Rabina, though it wasn't entirely clear like whether she would go all in like in the other scenario. Where obviously like yeah, you have like the whole like T core and the T core Rabina chemo trio there. And obviously like one consideration is that you wanted to break that up to potentially weaken them. Though at the same time, like you are also like kind of drawing a line in the sand there, where like you have like the Cam, Chelsea, MJ trio there. Chelsea and MJ were the key factors here in voting to evict Joseph here. So obviously now you have the likes of Quinn, Leah, Angela, who seem to be obviously not please. I mean Angela not so much, but you have and Quinn and Leah. They're not too happy with that. Obviously Quinn can't compete in the next HOH. But obviously, like if Leah wins an HHOH, then you obviously have her like being incensed to go after them. I do feel like this is on the whole pretty beneficial to the likes of T Core, Rubina Chemo. Like I think obviously that trio sticks together. You're now essentially guaranteeing that there could be 3 votes in the jury, where if one of them gets to the end, that's or maybe if they stick together, um, then at least 1 vote there. We're back from commercial. We're getting the exit interview with Joseph here. So obviously, like beyond this, you have Quinn now. I mean, this is obviously just clowning on him even more. The fact that he's now had two HOHs, and the fact that his own allies go out on both of his HOHs is really funny. I think that's something to consider here, especially when it comes down to the player ranking. I do think this is. Oh yeah, like he definitely has PTSD at this point. So obviously this is bad for the Leah and Angela side of things. I think it's pretty good for T Core. Obviously, like it puts her in a pretty strong position there. I think Chelsea's also someone. Is this good for Chelsea? I'm not entirely sure. I do think it's good for Chelsea in the sense that she's getting her way here, kind of, in wanting Joseph out over the other options. You obviously still have that trio ahead. The Chemo being a T Core trio ahead of them. I do think now that I'm thinking about it more, it's probably fine for Chelsea's game. There is the risk of Leah and Quinn potentially going after them. Yeah, Joseph's just kind of dunking on Quinn here. All right, we're going to listen to some goodbye messages here. I think it's even worse for Quinn because he actively pushed for Chemo to be the target, and he got his best case scenario and still didn't get his way. So I think that's another element of how bad this HOH was for Quinn. And I think MJ is also kind of in a good spot at this point because obviously you have Rabina still in the game. You have more credibility now, potentially, to have this women's alliance come together. Obviously, Leah and Angela are going to feel on the outs here. You could pull them in, though I think they're probably going to recognize they're at the bottom of the women's alliance. I think there's a lot. I think it's definitely an exciting outcome in that T Core and Rabina are kind of back on top. All right, we're going to get to this announcement here. Pretty exciting stuff. Chelsea moves to weaken Quinn and Cam while keeping Chemo enables trio. File 9. Yeah, I think that's pretty good consideration there. All right, now we're gonna get a double next week. All right, there's no double. Interesting. Love one another. All right, let's get this announcement here. All right, AI Arena is officially over. We all kind of knew that. That's it? Just announcing AI Arena's over? We all knew that, though. Longest pre-jury phase of the season. It's the same length as last year's, like because last year's AI Arena started at 9. And actually, last season's was longer because it had the extra week with Zombie Week. But obviously, this was a bit more condensed. But yeah, I am surprised there's no double next week. I thought that would have been a pretty interesting way to kick off the jury. But yeah, a lot to consider here. Yep. Yeah. So I gotta update the gains first. I was in the process of doing it, but then I kind of got distracted. I have to do the poll. I have to do double eviction. What? All right, there we go. There we go. Actually, should I just hold off on just in case? No, I think it's pretty clear there's not. So in that case, only one person there. So got the point. Q-Boy got the point. All right, that's good. A lot of people voted in this particular poll, so we'll just take a minute. That's just for Q Boy. And then we have the boot. How many people said nobody voted for Joseph? Interesting. Okay, so we can just update the score now. Okay, got that. All right. Best pre-jury BB20 or BB26? BB26, BB20, or BB Can 12. I think this pre-jury BB26 was more dynamic. So I think I would rate it BB26, then BB20, and then BB Can 12. I think. Only slow week this season was week 2. The least a week. I would agree. I mean, the Kenny week was kind of whatever as well, but obviously Cedric week was great. After that, Brooklyn week was interesting. Yeah, I feel like for the most part, this was a pretty strong pre-jury, despite being a bit on the longer side. Plus, it's obviously better than BB25 because it doesn't have that nothing week that was zombie week. So I think that also really helps it there. Could Mackenzie be a Kenzie at BB26? There's definitely that potential, I think. I mean, because obviously Mackenzie hasn't been like a dominant force. But like, I do think though Kenzie was definitely more reliant on her social game at the end of the day. Whereas I feel like if Mackenzie, if MJ were to win from this point, I feel like she's the type of person I could very well see winning out. Like, if we are like making comparisons, I could very well see her being viewed like a JC Lynn from BB Can 10, someone who kind of, which could be a knock in the sense that she becomes a target later on. Obviously, that's a factor here. Anyway, I gotta update the other games. It's always like a pretty chaotic time where I had to do this all on stream. Oh. You're gonna show me what I want. So who? Of course, I picked Joseph. My draft. So yeah, not great draft wise for me. I lost two of my picks in the pre-jury. Not great. 23. Who else? Joseph sold out. Yeah, that's crazy. Will BB26 be Australian Survivor best season of the year? We'll see how the post jury goes. Because obviously with Big Brother, like even like seasons with great pre-juries like BB20, even last season, it obviously there is a massive risk of it slowing down as the end game approaches. So like I'm definitely still holding out to see how the post jury goes gameplay wise, and like whether someone like a Cam just wins out or something like that. But I think it's definitely like on the right track. But yeah, I do think that on the whole, this is still a pretty strong week. Did it start yet? It actually just ended. Just ended. Did you? I assume you haven't watched it yet. Yeah, it just finished. Um, I'm signing off. Good night, Will. It was good seeing you. Rubina won a arena. She did. Yep. She won it. She won it pretty convincingly, actually. All right. Also, this is implication. This says shockwaves in the pool game. How many people picked? 3 people picked Joseph. All right, let's just double check. Again, I came pretty close to picking Joseph, but I was scared precisely for this reason, so I didn't pick him, and looks like it was the right call. So pool. I'm just verifying before we get eliminations here, because a lot happened in the pool game. Oh wait, that was from last week though. Okay, that's your last post there. Just verifying. Okay, I think I'm confident posting the pool game results here. All right. Then there's the boot list. Okay, so 10th place, so 5. Interesting. Interesting. Multiple people were pretty spot on with this pick here. Um, 17, 20, 22, 23. Wow, a lot of people are tied here. 25. All right, so that's all the games. Anyone else have anything? So I do think on the whole this is a pretty good week. Again, admittedly I wasn't as invested considering like the targets on the board, but I do think by the end of it was a pretty strong week. A lot of back and forth, which has been pretty consistent with this season. And I do think the game has kind of changed once again, where I do think at this point T-Core is definitely in a good spot again, where it seemed like she was going to lose one of her numbers. I think Leah had a bit of a peak, but obviously this is a knock for her. Again, Quinn failing to get what he wants. It's also pretty funny. And yeah, I think there's a lot to like here. So yeah, I'll be back again next week. Obviously, we'll see what happens from this point on. No double, it seems like. But yeah, I mean, I do think this is going to be pretty fun seeing how this next week plays out, especially with these new dynamics here, considering how explosive this vote seemed to be and how it handled a lot of the players there. But obviously, that's for next week. But yeah, I'm glad you all could join us, and yeah, I'll be back again next week. See ya.